Right, I'm going to call to order the town board meeting at the Town of Lisbon Town Hall on Monday, October 12th, 2020 at 6:35 p.m. Roll call, please.
All right. Chairman Osterman.
Here.
Supervisor Plotecker.
Here.
And Supervisor Beal.
Here.
And Supervisor Moonen.
Here. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item 4 is comments from citizens present. Does anyone wish to make any comments tonight? All right. Item 5 is the administrator report.
The office has been diligently working on getting out ballots, preparing for the election, and bringing the financials up to date. We're currently working on the month of June. Paul from the Parks PPW has retired. He was a town employee for 26 years. We're very grateful for his service. We're working on his exit package to pay him out his sick and vacation. The Public Works Director has taken on the duties in Parks while the Parks Director is out. Mike from Lund has started at Parks and was trained by Paul before Paul left. The Sussex sled bugs will begin trail work in the park to prepare for the snow sled season, November 7th. Joe continues to look for one more plow driver if anyone's interested. Public Works has completed a second round of road mowing, restored asphalt and culverts, ditch work, replaced culverts along Maple Avenue prior to resurfacing. They had a successful recycling event. The sheriff's stats for September had 67 traffic stops, 55 citations, 4 OWIs. They assisted fire and EMS 29 times, did 119 building checks, and drug incidents with 4 animal cases and 2 child abuse in the death. The Gazette was mailed out at the end of last week, so we should all see it in our mail. We have a meeting set to start working on the cooperative plan with the village of Sussex in November. Mark and Joe will be joining myself and council for that work. We have a meeting. Our January 1st, 2020 population estimate came in at 10,564. More accurate will be done once the census is over. I wanted to alert you that I will be on vacation October 21st through the 26th. We're going to be spreading my father's ashes. And last meeting I mentioned that we were going to do a draw on the Barnwood resurfacing, but he had dropped off the check, so we have withdrawn our draw. And that's my report.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Any questions for Kathy? Item 6 is supervisor reports. Does anyone have anything to report at this time?
Not at this time, because we'll have our next meeting on the 21st.
Becky?
I don't have anything.
Yeah, excellent. Item 7 is the minutes. Discussion and possible action on the following minutes. The approval of the September 28, 2020 town board meeting minutes. And then item B will be approval of the September 28, 2020 special joint town board meeting with the village of Merton. Just on the 28th town board meeting minutes, just one thing I'd like to be noted is during the closed session, I did not attend that, and that it was a 4-0 vote.
I make a motion
Got it.
to accept the vote of that modification.
Moved by Linda to accept. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Becky. Any other discussion on the September 28, 2020 board meeting minutes? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Then we have the September 28, 2020 joint special town board meeting minutes. Does anyone have any concerns on that, or is there a motion on those minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the
Further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 8 is upcoming town boards, commissions, and committee meetings. We have the next town board meeting on Monday, October 28th at 6:30 here at the town hall. The plan commission will then meet on Thursday, November 12th at 6:30 at the town hall. Park committee meeting Monday, October 19th, 2020 at 6:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station. And the sanitary district number 1 commission meeting will be Wednesday, October 21st here at the town hall at 6:30. Next board meeting on the 26th or the 28th? 26th. So
26th.
disregard the October 28th for our board meeting. It'll actually be the 26th at 6:30 here at the town hall. All right. Does anyone else have any meetings to note? Item 9, new business. Discussion and possible action on the following items. A request for approval of an agreement for funding of a roundabout construction at the intersection of County Highway Q and Hillside Road between Lisbon, Richfield, and Washington County.
This agreement had been discussed prior to me starting in town. The attorney has reviewed the agreement. If the board so chooses to move forward, Scott from Washington County is here to address any of your questions.
Is it because of the traffic, Scott? May I call you Scott?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it because of the traffic there that you're going a one-way around instead of a double lane?
Yes, it's traffic volume, it's like a single lane roundabout. If you're familiar with the, what's that?
I read that.
Yeah, so it's not a traffic volume coming into there, it's about 2,000 cars a day on Hillside, about 14 on Highway Q. When you look at the double roundabout at like Q and 164, there's a lot of accidents, crashes at that intersection, because you've got 20 movements in the roundabout, so we don't want to do that. You see most of the roundabouts are single lane, and we don't really require a single lane roundabout there. It also fits the footprint a lot better as well. So we had our consultant engineer look at it to see what would be most feasible. Again, they looked at everything from a four-way stop to traffic signals to a roundabout. So we looked at various options out there as well. So it wasn't just like through the dark board and go up the roundabout. They looked at various options. And most importantly, they looked into the future, looking forward, not just the traffic volume now, but as the town grows and potential growth in the area, the town of Lisbon, Richfield grows. It gives that extra added security of knowing that it'll work well in the future.
Just curious, what is the content if it's a double lane?
So our traffic volumes on Highway 2 about 14,000. I think on Highway 164, don't need to look it up online. I think they're closer to 20,000. You got combined total like 34,000 cars, 20 vehicles, 50 cars to that, versus around 18, so roughly half of that volume. Again, they're looking at actually modifying that one to make it into a single lane, because of all the crashes that are occurring in it.
What about that house on the corner? How is that going to be affected?
Well, inside your packet, you should have on one of the last pages kind of the exhibit there. And that's the exhibit we showed you, back when we started, and back when we had our public information meeting almost a year ago already, believe it or not, or over a year ago. So we're looking at doing that. That's one of the reasons why we're looking at partnering with the village of Richfield and County of Lisbon, is to have some say in what happens in that park. We need to put extra screening up there, some fencing, arborvitae, something else can protect that. This is right now a preliminary drawing, a sketch on a map. So that's what we think right now, so it would be a minimal impact. The roadway would actually be very close. When they added a little asphalt to that area, when we had the 164 was shut down, they had some asphalt on the road right there. So the curve that's shown right there is where the asphalt was before we went there. So again, it wouldn't be any closer than what it actually is out there right now. But we do understand with the roundabout, you might have more light traffic coming in there because the lights would skew the traffic that's going through there, not any lights above, but traffic coming through there would skew the lights would kind of bend around versus now the traffic on two headlights are basically only facing east and west. And only when you have an occasional person turning, would you have light that would be affecting not just that resident, but any resident on any of the four quadrants that you see there.
Are there going to be any like safety stops for that house because it is so close? So if someone comes in very carelessly, they don't ram into the house?
Not anything more than we right now, except for the curb and gutter.
Okay.
So that'd be right there. So you can imagine, if you want to get a good straight angle, they have to go over the first curb and gutter first, and then the second curb and gutter second. get towards that house. That's something we could look at, like I said before, plug up our old arborvitae trees now. Hopefully they're slowing down enough, but with any house, any location, even the city of Milwaukee, houses are going to get with
Exactly.
25-mile-an-hour zones. And so if anyone's really careless or speeding, no house is really that's way off the road. Safe to do that through the road. But I know that in the past, there's been a lot of vehicles that have ended up in this person's front yard from various crashes through the years too. We're trying to get people to slow down and hopefully they won't be ending up in those people's drives.
I know we talked last time about grant funding. Where have we gone since we left that last meeting?
Yeah, I did forward a letter to the town as well, kind of giving every update. So we actually applied for what's called Highway Safety Improvement Program, VISTA funds. That's a 90-10 split, 90% federal, state, 10% local, and we actually were awarded that. So then again, a roundabout cost of this one cost about $1.8 million. That means, the math in head, but basically it's also $180,000. It's 10% to cover some local funds. And so we're able to secure that grant. And that's what we're looking at, taking that $180,000 and dividing that up basically 4 ways. 2 legs of probably 2 for the county, 1 leg for the town of Lisbon, 1 leg for the village of Richfield. And knowing that in the future, because we're looking at that's $2020. We're not constructing it to 2023. We anticipate inflation possibly hitting, so we don't know what those costs are going to be. But you'll see in the MOU that we cap both the village of Richfield and the town of Lisbon numbers. So if they are over that, you've got a security blanket, if you will, that if the cost of construction there comes in and we decide that it looks a little bit differently going forward, we have to pay for a row of arborvitae and fencing that maybe wasn't in there. So that's an option that again, that's what the county would actually overtake that higher burden. Are you doing the math for me?
I also saw too, for any, in item number 4 on page 2. The parties agree that if 2 municipalities vote for an enhancement not part of the anticipated cost and constant drawing, and 1 votes against the enhancement, the 2 municipalities that vote for the enhancement will split that cost 50-50. If future maintenance/service is required for this item, municipalities that paid for the enhancement cost would be responsible for the future maintenance service. Does that work both ways? If one group wants enhancements and the other 2 doesn't?
Yep, that's I think it's the very next one. But there is one thing that there's only one entity that wants the enhancement that they can pay for it totally be responsible. So for instance, we don't put any vegetation in the water. We just put grass in there, we cut it and maintain it. I know Bill Richfield in the past had one that actually put like landscaping in there and flowers and all this kind of beautification in the middle. We're not interested in that, but if we town of Lisbon and Richfield are really interested in that, you certainly have that opportunity. Notice some communities would use colored concrete, for instance. Washington County's not interested in that right now. But if municipalities are interested in something like that, that's potential that's out there as well. But I believe we had one in there too, that we had one in there at 1 with solar, that they have that capability.
I didn't see the solar plan.
Paragraph 5.
Yep. Yep, area problem. Yep, very nice. So if we say I don't want the center statue of the highway commissioner, you don't want the center statue of the highway commissioner, but Richfield really wants one, and Richfield can do it on there.
Would you be doing a maintenance agreement then with whoever? Like,
Yeah,
let's
we
say
would do
Richfield
something
wanted
down the road.
flowers, you do a maintenance agreement with them that they pay for the flowers.
Correct. They pay for installation and pay for any future maintenance, flowers or landscaping or whatever they want.
Becky? So one thing that we kind of talked about last time on this is why should we get involved with paying for a county project?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so a couple different things. So one is get a little local buy-in there. So when we do these construction projects, typically we always get, not all of it, but typically all that. So you're coming in, you're being the big brother, you're doing this, and you're just kind of pushing and forcing stuff along this, right? We're not partners in this. So this creates that partnership, that opportunity to collaborate together to come up with this project. With doing that, to get some skin in the game, we're asking for a portion of those funds to be paid for by the local community. There's a lot of extra effort on our end to actually incorporate you. As I've seen on your agenda, dealing with Merkin and Sussex, you can imagine how good with Burton and Sussex at the same time together, right? Working all together towards a common goal and project. A lot of extra work on our end as well. So you get a little buy-in on your end to actually help pay for that. Also, Washington County has never put in a subdivision in the town of Lisbon or Richfield or a barrel pit or anything like that. We don't approve that stuff. So all the traffic that's been increasing coming at that intersection, as well as residents of both Lisbon and Richfield coming to us and saying, you got to do something, you got to do something, you got to do something. That's why we're looking at having this partnership with both the town of Lisbon and Richfield. So that's what we're looking at, having a three-way committee here to get involved in. And truthfully, that your citizens are in Waukesha County, Richfields are in Washington County, they at least have some representation. If something goes wrong, they at least come to your residents. Unless you have this, you won't have any representation if something happens down the road that you don't potentially like or agree with. But
So-
that gives you that, for the town of Lisbon's got a little bit extra flavor, if you will. Open honest guy, so that's.
I mean, the county split up jurisdiction on County Q, I believe.
Correct.
It separates one to the other, so no single municipality is paying for the entire road, so, and we pay for that through our taxes. I mean, it's not like we're not paying on any of these roads.
And then
It's just unusual to see a county coming to, like, us for money for a project like this. This is why everybody needs to know it. This is not like, we're not required to do this. This is a request. This is not a requirement.
Sure.
But there is a grant fund that's in it. So basically, we're doing a buy-in to have some say what it's going to look like and how it's going to function. My main concern is that house on the southeastern portion. Does the grant not include purchasing like a property? So there's no,
No.
because
So-
what about the right of way that's being purchased?
Right, that would be, the right of way is included in there, but they don't go all the way unless the house is actually really required for the project. And looking at the distance from the property again, if we say the road is going the exact same distance from the house that it is right now, why would we need to purchase the property? The road's not getting any closer than what it is right now. So I can't imagine the DOT and the feds would say, yes, let's bring you some extra funds to buy the house, that you're not actually moving any closer to what it is right now. The roadway itself. And actually, the roads are, the speeds are going to be reduced. So the right of way is going to change, right? Yes.
And that's going to be within, so I mean, we're essentially taking property here.
Depending on, again, preliminary plans, right? They don't know where the drainage is all going to go out there. And so it's quite possible that the right of way is a little closer. Maybe we just have an easement, not ownership of it. When you go around that corner, you and I were going to be plowing snow, and that snow's got to go somewhere. We also want to make sure they don't put a big tree right there, or something like that, to block the vision. So we want to make sure we gain some rights in that corner, whether it's by fee or an easement, a vision triangle. I'm sure you had, subdivision had vision triangles before, so maybe you don't buy the right of way. That's part of this discussion that we have later on as a conglomerate and a group going, well, let's not buy it in fee. Let's let them have that land, keep it on the tax rolls. Let's just get a vision triangle from them in that corner instead. That's the discussions that you'd be involved
Whether or not we want to be involved is a little difficult, but, so what happens,
Well, that's why
do we know
I
for
think that-
sure? House did not conforming use at that point in time.
That family that owns that about this?
So they were included in the
What's
recent,
after this?
we had a recent letter that went out to every landowner that's in that general area. They just got an update. They were invited to the public information meeting that we had last year on it. So I have not talked directly to them except for the public information for that.
So they were there.
I have to look back. I know there was representatives that were talking about that corner, but I'm not sure if it was the owner or like a neighbor who was, might have been the guy that was across the street was talking about it. I don't recall this specifically talking to anyone at that residence.
Check that. Right. Conforming and legal non-conforming. It's certainly going to impact the value of their house being close.
Oh, I agree with you 1,000% on that. This is what I brought up last time too, is this property is my main concern with this whole deal. It's hard to do on the phone.
And believe it or not, we don't like to buy right away. The least we buy, the better.
I completely
expensive.
believe you.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
very
they're-
expensive.
I don't think anybody here doubts that.
How many times in the area have you asked the municipalities to participate in the cost?
So I've only been highway commissioner since 2015, so this is my second one. The village of Germantown, we're combining on splitting up an intersection there, Goldendale and Tri-State Road.
So everything else has been county.
We haven't done any intersection only projects.
Just curious. Say if Richfield doesn't want to pay for this, or we don't want to pay for this, would you continue with this project?
That will be up to my county executive and my committee to decide. So remember, I'm getting direction from them, come to you, and I report to the committee and executive as well. So they would be the ones making a decision whether they want to proceed or say, no, it's not going forward. That's above my. And it's a board. I don't know.
Do you need an approval of this tonight?
We'd like to because we like to get the project going. Believe it or not, it's in 2023, but now it's time to start with the engineering work. So we get the engineering started, get the land acquisition, get the utilities moved that's out there to need to move. So yes, the DOT is looking for an answer from us because remember, we're looking at taking a grant money. They go up $2 million out of this money, and if we're not going to take it, they'd like to give it to somebody else. So they would certainly like an answer sooner rather than later.
So I remember at the informational meeting, this was not the top of the most dangerous Washington County intersections, if I remember correctly. What number was it?
I think it was third or fourth. It depends on how, so we have ones that are ranked in severity, ones that are ranked in number of crashes, and one that are ranked in crash rate. And so I think it was second in one and fifth in another and like eighth in another group. So it depends on how you want to merge those things together. So I'll pick on Highway Q that's down by McDonald's, stuff like that. They have a lot of crash volume, like a lot of fender benders. There's 30,000 cars a day on Highway Q. This one's not that. It's got a high severity because when they have a crash there, it's someone hitting it 55, 45 miles or hitting someone that's being turning. It's very severe crashes and a lot of crash rates. I mean, a lot of crashes per cars entering the intersection. So there's a little bit lower on number of crashes, but it's higher in severity and rate. So that actual report is on our county website too.
Are those intersections with higher severity ahead of this one? Are they getting addressed?
Yeah, but in different methodologies. So sometimes it might be as simple as we're putting up double stop signs, right? Stuff like that, putting up rumble strips to make sure that people are stopping in one direction or other. So that's the kind of stuff. So we're actually doing one of them, we did a whole reconstruction of a whole 3-mile stretch of roadway that actually incorporated one of those intersections. So it was at a key intersection. We were doing the main roadway and made sure that the volume, the roadway was, we redesigned it, you got better sight distance going east and west. So that was kind of we took care of it because we were redoing the road profile.
Being one lane, is this, because there's a lot of dump trucks coming in here, is this the roadway going to be wide enough to handle the numerous amount of dump trucks that go around?
Not only dump truck, but semi-traffic too, because we're a county highway, we got to accommodate semi-truck traffic, so yes, we'll have plenty of room for dump trucks as well as semi-trucks. The state of Wisconsin requires that roundabout engineers are certified for roundabout engineering, and so you would be involved in that selection process to select that firm. If you so choose, you'd be involved in that, so you can select the firm, you do a request for qualifications, we look at firms, which one we think is most qualified. We pick the firm, the DOT then negotiates the price with that firm, and that's the firm that we'll get. So we don't have to negotiate the price with that firm.
So this would make it non-conforming for the zoning.
Are they already non-conforming?
They're right about 1 acre. Looks like they lost a little bit with the road. I don't know what the setback is on the house. It's 50-foot minimum setback off the road.
Um, That's where we look at easement versus fee.
And I think these people need to know this at a minimum. I mean, of all the people, this is the only house in this whole project that is going to be really negatively affected by this project. I mean, I think this guy with this family would deserve definitely a
I think
direct call.
we can certainly discuss it in the future.
We're going through some things with, our border agreement with the village of Sussex right now, where people are saying nobody told us. So this is first and foremost on our minds right now.
And that's what we sent a recent update letter to all the people that were in that vicinity.
And sending a letter and having them understand how it's affecting them very drastic.
That's why I put my name and number at the bottom, so if you don't get it, call me up and I'd be happy to meet out there. The intersection we're doing with Germantown, I talked to them on the phone for 45 minutes before we had our public information meeting today.
This intersection is around. There's no doubt about it. I just, like I said,
I'm worried about that.
I mean, they need to know at a minimum what's coming. And how it could affect them.
Have to disclose it when you sell it. And it's just, a mess.
It looks like it might be long. I mean, so it's R2, which is 1 acre density, the 1 acre minimum lot size. So it looks like whenever Q was expanded, they must have lost a little bit. So it's actually 0.97 or whatever right now. It's very close, but now it'll be down, depending on what kind of right of way we're taking there.
Is it long and narrow, or which way?
It's a decent sized lot there for 1 acre.
I didn't know if it was more land on Q or.
So what we've done in the past, we've just done easements, that way they retain the underlying fee in the land. We do an easement over the top, like a vision triangle easement, or we call it a permanent limited highway easement. It's there for highway purposes only, but they can keep their 0.97 acres wherever they have. Just that part of it encompasses a little bit of both.
Scott, I just have a question. Now that this project's been talked about, I just wanted to know, is this going to help or hinder them getting out of the driveway?
It all
Because the
depends
driveway
on,
looks like it drops off on here. It looks like it's pretty close to that.
right, there's actually several, there's one there, there's actually some to the west side, several hundred feet to the west of the intersection too. So, would it hinder them? I mean, traffic rolls through the roundabout just like it does on Highway 2. I think because traffic's going slower because it's going into the roundabout, out of the roundabout slower, it's a lot safer for them to get in and out of there. Remember, traffic on Highway 2 doesn't stop right now. It's at certain times of day, it's a near continuous flow of traffic right now. At least for the roundabout, there's other people that can sneak in and get in and out and go different direction. But hopefully it'll open up some more gaps for them versus in the morning in that rush hour, people are pretty close to a speed traffic out there. Hard to get through. People are going by at 50, 55 miles an hour versus they're slowing down at hopefully 15 to 25. It should be an improvement, but you can ask the traffic engineers that question.
We're going to hesitate to do something without informing this couple so they understand it. I know you said you could buy an easement or something, but I think they should be in the discussion of that. Do you think, or am I wrong?
I'm worried about that house. I'm worried about that couple. And then I would like to, I don't have a problem calling and talking to them either, and just knowing what their understanding is.
Right, I can tell you what, we're going to hate any improvement. I've dealt with people long enough.
Well, it's not the improvement. It's just they need to know how it could affect them.
Right.
Yeah,
I would
it's
say-
not a matter of, they're not going to like it. I mean, I don't think anybody's thinking that's going to happen, but it's, like I said, of all 4 corners, this is the corner that gets affected the worst.
And I don't know if I agree with that, because if we do a permanent easement, then we're not affecting it at all.
But they can't turn left anymore.
Sure, they'll be raising median, they'll be able to go over the median.
There's a reason you can come out here and turn left on that roundabout. I can't tell on this. drawing.
You can go over the open space.
Yep, there's two lines in there.
I still think they should be inland. I think, and I know you're saying, and I know you want to get going on that, and I appreciate that. However, I think we have a responsibility to these homeowners to inform them that this is a possibility, and with the easement, they're going to be back, and they have to be letting them know the information because it affects their home.
But there's little gaps in the roadway that you can actually.
It's so small.
Yeah, it's okay, but there's so it says it curved up, there'll be an area to drive over the top, so you can actually make a left turn and right turn. You'll see that not only there, but the ones, the far property to the west and across from it. Same thing, you see some lines coming across the roadway.
So there's an entrance here too, I'm assuming then. That's fine. Well, totally.
Yeah.
Is that newer house for Richfield? You know what's a ranch? Like driveway?
So you're-
Is that further?
Yeah.
This one is not affected at all. Northwest.
What are your thoughts on all this, Becky?
I could have sworn those people were here. Because the guy was complaining about people always end up in their living room.
That was the
That was the guy at the back.
northwest
Yeah.
or southwest side. Southwest side.
Southwest.
Yeah,
So
that's where they always end up, is on that southwest
Barbers,
property.
next to the barbers.
Yeah.
I thought they ended up on the southeast one.
Yeah, I remember talking to her, hearing them talking, we did the same time.
Yeah.
I just think something needs to be done there, and
You're right.
if they're just starting out, then maybe they can work with these people and work something out, so it's not as bad as, I mean, it's,
Scott, if acquisition of that entire property was necessary, because they wouldn't conform with our code, I believe it would be the responsibility of Washington County.
No, we put that in there because we don't want to buy the house. No, because we believe right now the plan is really good. Like I said, the asphalt's in the same spot as it is right now. And if we're worried about becoming non-conforming, we certainly just do an easement. And so they're actually, their land itself is not actually impacting the property at all. No, we don't want to purchase the house. That's why if you want to purchase the house, that would be on the list to purchase the house. You're probably, I don't know what it's valued at, but I'm guessing. We looked at it last time, I think it was, right? We looked at 180 or something like
It's gonna
that.
be 200,000.
Something like that, so. We're talking about that would equal our whole local 10% share going to the buying of one individual house.
I guess I'm all for the project as far as improving the intersection for safety concerns. And I guess I'm in support of the conceptual design of the project. I like the fact that it's going to affect household, two households in our area, one probably adversely. And I don't think it's the responsibility of the town of Lisbon to fund part of the project. I see that roadways are designated for purposes of taxing, and I don't see this as necessarily a fiscal responsibility. I do see it as a responsibility to give input, but I don't see it as a fiscal responsibility.
I do agree with Mark on that, 100%. I think that was very well put, actually. I mean, the county doesn't just come around and help pay for our roads anywhere, you know. I know it's Washington County, but I mean, they don't come and help us on that anywhere. So, I agree with Mark.
I do too. I think obviously we want a roundabout there, it is needed, absolutely, for safety and so forth, but, and for the project, I think it's a great thing. I'm nervous about this, there's a couple on the corner, and if they know what's going on, fine, I have no problem with that. I just hate to, I don't want to vote on something that they're not in the whole center of it and knowing what's going on.
Where are you on the funding?
I'm not, that's why I asked, how many people do this? And he said, in 4 years, in 4 years.
We only have 2 intersections, we've done the other ones, and it'll be for this one, so.
Yeah, and I just thought,
100% 4 years, but there's only been 2.
and we're still paying off for our own roads here in the town. And then to pay for this, I think the county, I think it's their job to do this.
And if we don't, you're fine with that?
I don't like it.
That's a hell of a veiled threat, though.
No, I'm just asking.
I mean, it's,
I'm sure that's what they're gonna ask me.
That- I mean,
My
that-
board's gonna ask me that too, like,
yeah.
they don't want the project?
But why should, have them explain to us why we should pay for it?
Well, you
Waukesha
are-
County doesn't ask us to pay for anything there. I mean, if we want to change things, they do, but I mean, if it's just intersections, I mean, Lisbon Road, they pay for everything there. They never come to us. for
It's like saying that you guys go to Germantown and ask them to pay for the interstate coming through there as well.
Well, that's what we do, I'm telling you. Again, we have 2 legs, they have 2 legs, so we said, if it needs to be improved, I own half of the intersection, you own a quarter, Richfield owns a quarter, we should come together and make the improvements. I don't own all 4 legs. That's, that's just not mine, there's land, people from Hillside are coming up on both directions.
But they're paying through this, their taxes already.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not this exact spot here, but I mean, we pay county taxes, separate line item all of our bills. I mean, it's not like the
Well,
money
not
just,
Washington County,
well, we pay for part of Walk Q that you guys don't though. There's a portions of Q that Waukesha County is paying for that you're not. It's just how it was separated. You know what I mean? And it's moved over the years, it really has, but you know, that's where it gets tough on that end to just say yes. It's 45 grand, it's not like it's 12.
Right.
Becky, where you're on that?
I think that this is a horrible intersection, and I think that our road is hillside. I don't see any reason for us not to continue the project.
Where's the thoughts of where to fund it? Kathy, have you thought about that yet or no?
I got it in our, when we work tonight, I got it working.
Capital.
I can't get over the fact that this is a county maintained road. And there's nowhere in our municipalities where the counties are gonna come to us and like the chairman said, pay for both of the roads. So, and I don't wanna sound like I'm absent to cooperating with municipality. I think how you guys structure, I think it's a great idea on your part, and I think it's a great part of the sale on it, but it doesn't reciprocate on the fact that when we replace our roads or our intersections, Washington County is not responsible for funding our intersections either. So,
And it's being paid for mostly by grant.
I think that if this is an intersection that is needing to be addressed and 45,000 is what they cannot come up with, I think that's a different thing, but just the flat out ask for our money because it makes sense in the division of, I don't even want to say responsibility, but touching the intersection. I can't go along with that. I think we pay line item taxes on our taxes for a reason, and I think this is entirely Washington County's fiscal responsibility.
Anybody have anything else?
Oh, Waukesha County.
They don't, no, it's split up. How
It's not
Q is it's split up.
Otherwise, if you ask me,
What is your guys' budget? If you don't mind me asking? If your annual road budget,
We get $3 million in sales tax.
for your roads? How many miles is that about?
There's 181 miles.
181. We've got 96. That's what it was, might be a little more
And
now.
we're paying for them dearly.
We don't have the same, obviously, spec you guys do.
That's a little wider.
So our community has half the amount of roads you guys do. And our whole budget is like $4 million. So,
Well, we appreciate you coming here and the county coming here. We appreciate that. Yes, I think we can go on all saying, yes, it needs to be done. But I think we just, the majority of us have an issue with 45,000. And the house question.
we would need a motion on this, one way or the other, because Becky is, she's willing to pay for, which I respect, 20%. I mean, she wants to have this happen, and she wants to ensure it happens, and that's a respectable position to have.
I'll make a motion to deny the request for approval of an agreement for funding of a roundabout construction at the intersection of County Highway 2 and Hillside Road between Lisbon Ridge and Washington County.
Is there a second? Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Item D is a request for approval of the contract for the creation of a new website to enhance online access for many of our face-to-face processes.
And so in front of you, I did do a request for consideration. We've heard from our residents that they're having trouble using our website. Our staff can't find things many times on what the residents are requesting. We would like to reduce the amount of time that residents have to come in and do face-to-face meetings to get documents. This upgraded website will allow better access for residents. We have two possibilities to look at. I brought in Civic Plus or Civic Engage. The same system we had a few years back, I understand. And then Revise, which is a software package I used in the past. Both of them basically are the same. The difference is the Revise was only giving us 10 gig of space, and Civic was giving us 100 gig. Civic also has an alert that's pretty sharp. That's part of the package that allows you to actually a resident to come in and just like ours does, you can get a notify, an email notification, but it also sets you up on alerts that you can have something texted to your phone. So if you have an emergency is happening in town, you can send an alert to your phone and Revise does not have that. They also have a really nice economic development module that would be helpful. Revise has a real nice parks add-on that can be purchased. I believe that the website is upgrade is necessary for our residents, especially in this COVID environment. There'll be no budget impact because it will be reimbursed by Routes to Recovery. So I'm asking for approval. Allow you to make the decision on if you're more interested in making sure it's less expensive for the initial cost, then Revise would be your decision. Civic is a little more expensive on the front end. Their annual fee is more expensive, but that's because it's 100 megabyte space, whereas we have to buy more space from Revise. Currently, our website is being done by One Click that has not had any experience doing municipal websites and has been trying to piece it together the best they can. Their yearly cost to us is $1,000 more than Civic, so it's $4,500 a year. So this is a savings on our annual payments as well.
As far as the gigabytes of storage, is there an option with Revise to up that? Because 10 gigabytes is really small.
Right. We could increase that. It would just be at a cost. It would be a yearly cost, not the initial cost.
Right.
Working within 1 year of cost in the government.
Yeah, I can try to do that.
Do we know which one's going to be more user-friendly for updating it?
Well, I have not had the opportunity to use Civic Plus, but Natasha has, and she worked well with Civic Plus, is what she said. She liked the look and the feel of it. I worked with Revise, and that was it was kind of a basic website, and I could take care of it at my former job. So I have knowledge about the website experience.
So you
Just
fit
letting
in
you
with,
know.
you fit in
I
with the
will not
rest
be
of the board. So last year when we switched from Civic to OneClick, we were actually do a free upgrade to our website right before we switched. Is that something we could maybe talk to them and say, hey, we made a mistake, but we changed, but now we realize we want to come back because we did this, this, and this. Would you guys still be willing to do that?
Well, I can tell you that when I got the initial quote for Civic, it was $24,000 and $4,500 a year. And I
You already
negotiated
talked
down to 65.
You've already been on this. Okay.
3,500.
Because they should still have our old website, I'm assuming.
They do, but they said that technology changed so much that they can't just like slap it up there.
It's been a year.
Yeah, but it was already in need of help. The problem is the ADA compliance. So our current system has 125 I think they said, areas that we are not ADA compliant, and our old system had ADA compliant issues. This whichever system we end up going with will be ADA compliant.
Well, so everybody's feeling. Becky, you were involved with the website committee when we had Civic.
I did not like Civic. They, what they told us, and I can't remember what the specs were, but what they told us we were going to get was not what we got.
Was that on us or on them more? I guess. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean,
Sure.
you know who was in charge.
Yeah.
And what he did when the rest of the committee wasn't there, I don't know.
That was my question.
Right, I don't know, but I don't like the Civic Plus because it looks like when you click on something, it brings up a space. It looks like you're just bringing up a Word document. I don't like that. So,
Right. Well, if you have both of them, and no matter what company you go with, it's going to be a custom website. It's not gonna be
Right, but I did not know that what it was going to be because we looked at all these other websites that they had, and we liked this and we liked that, and I don't remember. Like I say, I don't know what happened when the committee wasn't there and a certain person was on his own. But I don't remember that that's how our website was supposed to look.
Is it possible we could get some samples from each one? Like, is everyone in agreement we're not to not stick with what we have through the ADA compliances and other issues? I mean, we're changing one way or the other. Okay. So just between these two, can we get some samples from them to look at before we decide who to go with? Or is it something we need to do?
Okay, so we can wait on it, but we'll not be able to get this approved by
By the grant.
That's an important thing.
But weren't there copies of certain websites in that material that we got? Because I looked at a couple of them from the Revise. Is that what it is? Yeah. There were samples of municipalities they do because I looked at them.
And
I looked at a couple of them.
yeah, Civic does the city of Oconomowoc and the city of Mountain Falls. And I know those were two that were appealing to Natasha and I when we sat down.
Who does What's, like, who does revise do?
They do Greendale. Waukesha. What?
Rochester.
No village.
City.
The city is
City of Rochester.
I did like the look of the revised ones better than Civic Plus, but that's just because I like pictures.
I guess I don't have an opinion on which one to go with.
And I'm not computer smart, I confess. I do use a computer, but in this case,
I can say going mobile, going between like Menominee Falls and Greendale, I would say I like the mobile version of Civic Plus better than I like the mobile version of Greendale, but that's just true.
That was a survey that was taken by Revise was saying that the majority of people are using their phones instead of going to the computer so they like the scrolling aspect more so. And so they were working on that.
to me, it's such a small little space.
But what happens is we're out somewhere and we need some information and we just
I think the majority of people do it on the phones.
See, I'm unusual.
Yeah, no, people do it both ways, but I mean, I think watching teenagers who are so glued to their phones, it's ridiculous. I'm surprised they can cross the street. So, I mean, I know, Mark, what do you feel?
I've seen many different platforms. I think on this topic, I would lean towards Civic Plus. I know, like, City of Berlin, Waukesha, Muskegon, Civic Plus, and generally pretty easy to find information on.
no matter what developer we are getting, I did look into getting us a document.
A hyphen.
Well, the hyphen has to come with the W, so that it's a government site, so you have to have what it is. So it's where you're from, so it's a hyphen, all the hyphens, all the stuff that is for states. Have to say it through state somehow.
Is that scary, Linda?
No, as long as you people know what you're doing on it.
Oh, the hyphen.
Oh, the hyphen?
I'm so used to our website right now, going to www.lisbonwi.com.
Yeah.
But I don't. WI.com. www.lisbonwi.com.
It just, when I read this originally, when it came on, you issued it, I read it said 10 gigabytes, is that, you know?
That's nothing.
Yeah.
We would need more than. I'm assuming we would need more than 10. I think 100 is not much these days. Because that's going to hold all of our documents.
Yes.
Right. Because if you're going to put any kind of videos on there, 10 gigabytes, I mean, I think it's 3.5 gigabytes is MP3. Standard size MP3. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a possible issue. And I don't know how that would affect the payment on the monthly. I actually like Civic Plus myself. I don't know Revise much, so it's not like I can't compare them because I don't know. So I'm not the right person to make that call.
I've worked with Revise, and they are small, a big small company. Their technical support is like I was being for because they do a lot of economic development. on our website.
Who would be the one in working with it? Would it be the whole staff or,
No, Natasha will be setting it up.
which one does she prefer? I should know the answer to this question.
I think she was either one, but she, when we were talking to revise, I got the feeling that our questions were, well, we weren't sure. So, I think she was comfortable with it.
Is this have any tie to our other services?
Where you at, Linda?
I'm curious, if 100,000, if they say that should last us. I don't like the idea of paying $3,500 a year, but.
We're paying more than that now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Is there
And
any-
it's ridiculous.
Is there any guarantee on annual fees?
I'm sure we're going to get a contract. once we get that contract. What are you looking for?
Well, they just, if the initial annual fee is $3,500, then next year they take out the initial quote of $65. Now they replace our annual fee at $82. So just something, somewhere we're not expecting to have a shift in cost like that.
I can make sure we get something.
I'm good with, I think $3,500 is pretty good for annual ongoing service.
Is that with help and stuff like that, too, for the questions? The service
Yeah, that gives us maybe 2 full days or 4.5 days of training, and then they work with you to develop the whole thing. So,
like Joe said, we've had them before, maybe you can kind of say,
Wasn't a,
we did a pretty good negotiation, getting them down to 65.
yeah. Okay.
But I will address the yearly and see if I can get at least a guarantee for something.
Are you comfortable with trying Civic again, Becky?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't like how it looked when we had it. So if, you know, I mean, but I'm just one person. So, but what did you say about? I'm sorry. What did you say about we have to change our?
ADA?
Our website.
Suggesting, we don't have to, no, we don't have to. I'm just looking for our future. And so I want to grab that URL if we can before it's not there. That's, oh, you mean it's out there? It's out there right now. Oh, okay. Lisbon-WI.gov. So it's a government site. Oh, okay.
It's shorter, I like that. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure of $60,500 to include an annual fee in addition of $3,500 for the website upgrade to allow residents the ability to obtain documents without coming to the office.
Just to the front.
With Civic Plus.
Is there a second?
know about that, it's a
Is there a second first?
second.
Okay.
So we need to put in here that, we will get, legal budget in that, as of now. Is it not money?
I mean, that's the intent.
We need that in the motion.
Okay. That's fine.
Any other,
Or the part where you're actually-
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. I'm gonna move us a little bit ahead on the schedule here. I think we put everyone in the audience through enough pain so far.
Yes.
I'm just gonna advance to the Plan Commission, item 10, Plan Commission recommendations. A, the rezoning request for owner CJ Real Estate Enterprises, LLP applicant Joe Getz, of approximately 5 acres from the A10 agriculture to the A5 mini farm, and approximately 0.1 acres from A10 agricultural to A3 agricultural residential estate. The property located at North 55 West 27361 Lincoln Road, Wisconsin 53089. Text the LSBT 0265.998.002. The Plan Commission recommended approval on October 8th, 2020. And we did recommend approval with some conditions that were set forth. Does anyone have any questions? I will move that we do approve that rezoning request. with all the conditions set forth by the Plan Commission. Is there a second? Second by Linda Beal. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item B, the certified survey map request from owner CJ Real Estate Enterprises LLP. Applicant Joe Getz, of approximately 5 acres of property located at North 55 West 27361 Lisbon Road, Lisbon, Wisconsin. 53089, tax key LSBT 0265.998.002. CSM was modified at the Plan Commission, and did you get that taken care of?
Yeah,
If you don't mind stepping up.
no,
State your name and address if you would, please.
Joe Getz, M55 West 27271 Highway K. But no, my surveyor just modified it, he actually attached it, but, or he said he attached it again, so that is modified for the planning commission.
So at the Plan Commission, there was the driveway, the lot line is going to be separated by that instead of having encroachment on the other newly created lot. So that was part of the Plan Commission's recommendations as well as the other ones that are in there. Does anyone have any questions on that item?
Is that on the top property or the bottom one?
So it's
North,
The north property?
the
or south?
north property.
That's what I'm saying.
Where this driveway is going right now. So that would be- Any other questions on that?
look like forward that CSM, move that forward there too.
So once you get the CSM and, send it over, we'll make sure that the corrections are properly made, then we can take it over. Everyone that needs to sign it, and then we're the last ones to sign it. And then it'll get filed at the town.
So, yeah, it's supposed to be 10 years.
We can approve it with understanding that that's making sure staff understands how it's gonna go. We had a lot of talks about this at the Plan Commission, about how it had to look and that it has to be that way. And the planners are well aware of what it needs to look like. And Kathy obviously reviewed it because she's aware of it, so. If the board feels comfortable, we could approve it as it stands, approve it with the changes that were recommended by the Plan Commission. Normally, we would like to see the finalized CSM here, but I will say he's been doing this since December.
No, I remember the first consideration. I actually like this one. Wish we could have thought of that back then.
There was a lot of stuff going back and forth, and the county was involved, and then they thought there was some shoreland, and it's been a process. So I guess I would ask that we.
I'll make a motion to approve the CSM request for owner CJ Real Estate Enterprises LLP, applicant Joe Getz, approximately 5 acres, for the property located at 355 W27261 0265.998.002 with the modifications to southwest portion of the parcel for the driveway as stated in the planning commission.
Is there a second? All right, any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thanks, Joe.
What's up?
There should be one other Plan Commission recommendation. Does the other one not need to come to the board?
It does, but they didn't have everything to us in time to get it through.
Okay.
So we had, in Getz's situation, they had to be on this one, or we would have been at the deadline we have. This, I think this is the lowest one.
Yeah.
That one was.
I don't think they do that.
That's not what we were told, that's right.
Sorry
It's
about
supposed to
that.
be here today.
No, it's not on the agenda. I was told that
That's what we talked about, Joe, though, that you said that you were gonna do the 8th, and you're gonna come right back to the 12th. We were gonna be done. That's why we agreed to the 2 week, instead of me having to pay the extra amount of money, so that I could just push it. That would have been to the same meeting. That's why I agreed to the extra 2 weeks. It's no big deal. I mean, it's kind of.
Could you share with us, please?
This is a CS, yeah.
So it's not on the agenda, when I spoke with the planners, I wasn't back, I wasn't in here for the planners meeting, so I didn't realize that you guys were having it at this meeting, so I didn't.
We can't act on it.
So we will have it on.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then we'll jump back up to new business. C, request for approval for the contract with CT Access Cloud ECM Solution, the public portal proposal to allow property files to be accessed online by residents.
So, just so you're aware, I had it on the agenda. Otherwise,
They missed that one.
So, on this portal, if you remember, in the past, you spoke with Gina about Laserfish. CT Access was the company that she brought forward for Laserfish. Well, now they are, Laserfish also has this public portal, and they've had it, but it's always been out of reach for us, small municipalities, medium-sized, everyone else. But if you, so only the very large companies or large municipalities were able to afford something like that. Well, they just, like the week before I called them, they just reduced it for municipalities 10,000 and under in population. And I know I just told you what our population was, but we did get a buy, an okay and approval to have this portal at this time. This is going to allow us to put all our property files, all our surveys and building permits and all of that online, so the residents can go directly online to view that, all the historical information on their property that we have in our records. This will help lower the requirement for people to come in during this pandemic. And we are going to use House to Recovery Grant to cover this. The expenditure is $7,590. That does include an annual fee, which was on the budget last year and is continuing on this budget this year, as well as a scanner, so we don't have to scan so many things from at the county. And address that in our budget as well. The scanner is $1,100. $150.
And what the annual fee?
And the annual fee, well, altogether, the annual fee and so the services are $3,487. And the, for the first year, you have to spend another $3,000. So it's $3,000 the first year for the full setup, and it's $3,487. That allows us to put all that property up on the website. $34.87.
That's continuous every year for that.
Yep, for that service.
This is a good thing. Putting all this on there. Because right now, if somebody requests a lot of this stuff, they gotta call the hall. And we have to find it.
A lot of time.
Might not be here.
It's a luxury.
Fire station.
It is a luxury, but, and it's gonna take a lot of work to get it set up, but this had come up once before about doing this, where you could go on Dan Lindstrom, I don't remember if this came to the board or the planning commission, but we had talked about doing something similar to this, where you go on the property online and you click on it, and then it brings up the historical information and different things on the property, which really helps in the planning end. It speeds things up. not gonna say it's gonna take up $3,487 for planning time, but it will speed things up for the planners and other things, which will then hopefully cost us money, and hopefully take up less office time. But this is one, I know it's $34 a year, I would back this one. I can't promise you it's gonna save that amount of money every year, but it will save money. But it's gonna take a lot of time to set it up too.
Who's gonna be working on it?
All of us. There's only 2 elections next year.
So this is a perfect year to do something like this, because we have the time to set, to really put some energy into it.
This is gonna take time. This is not gonna happen overnight. So I don't think this is gonna be ready in February.
No.
This might be ready at the end of next year.
So does that mean you're gonna do like the certified survey maps and everything? They're gonna put all that on?
Anything
my
we have
thoughts are we
copies of.
have an area for subdivision plots, so all the subdivisions will be in there. We get the number of calls we get for people that are trying to figure out their property lines and such.
Right.
Survey right away. If they don't have a survey, they can click on their neighbor's property and see if there is a survey, then they know where the lot, where the line is. So it's very helpful. It's great for our residents. They don't have to come in, they don't have to have us. I request approval.
Is that information filed with the county though, as well? CSM.
Yes, they are, and, but not the surveys and not their building permits. And if they're not compliant at any point in time, that's not in there. The CSM is in there, this, I don't know what they do for flat file, but I know that there's a way to get into the documents and check. I'm not sure.
But you have to purchase them and they're not cheap.
It doesn't actually show them on there. It shows what it is, but I don't think it actually
Like
shows.
a document number or something.
Mhm.
I've never been able to do it myself.
I have, it's not great.
It is,
Yeah, it's
I mean, but it's just going to include the ones we have.
Right,
We don't have it.
Create it.
Right.
It's public, it's, what we're gonna do is try to get as much public documentation on the web for our residents, or potential residents.
Nice thing is, like, especially during the planning commission, there's a lot of times we have questions about what's what and who and why. Now we can actually live in a planning commission go up and
Right,
talk about,
right.
which would be nice.
There's also, this has a really nice function where you can just go in and put in a word. Like, I remember I was at the county when we had the whole Laura situation, at Conroe, and that was a really big deal. We got a public records request for, so, Laura, and every minute and document would come up. So it will really help in that fashion. If you're looking for something, it's supposed to really be.
It puts the minutes and everything. Yeah, that's,
And where is the data stored?
It's in a cloud.
Is that 3487 from the cloud?
any other thoughts on this one from anyone?
And where's the expense coming from?
Just
Does that cover the first year then too, or is that a?
that's, yeah, it'll be a 74. I'll do it. I'll put it in, because it's going to reduce the amount of time that face-to-face with my residents. And if we end up in a situation where we all have to be from our home, we're all safe at home, shelter at home, and we still have to do meetings, we can do the whole meeting on Zoom, and we have all the documents at our fingertips.
Do we know, is there a guaranteed price in next, like, 5 years? Like, if we're gonna do 30, like, is there a 5-year contract we can sign where it's 34, 34, 34, 34, just so that it doesn't go up to like 5,000 in year 2 or 3?
Yep, I will,
Only what?
If we're on 2020.
I'll see what I can do.
Does Russ recover ongoing expense?
They do to a point, but only, only short term. Couple months here. But what was written into the contract.
Any other discussion on this one? Someone ready to make a motion on this item?
I make a motion to request that we approve the contract with the CT Access Cloud ESDM total proposal to allow property files to be assessed online by residents at a cost of no more than $7,590.04.
Is there a second?
Second.
But you want to put more money in there if you're going to try to get it for cheaper? I mean, if you're trying to get more years in there? Maybe not put in the money?
I'm willing to pay amount.
Is there a motion, want to remove it?
Yes.
Second, good with that?
Second, good with that?
Second, good with removing the amount, not to
Yes.
exceed? Oh,
I was going to say, I didn't
thought- I'm looking
second
at-
it, but that's okay. I'll say I'll agree, sure.
I'll agree. With the removal of money.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D is request for approval of Badger Books for election in order to socially space the poll workers.
So we have, I think you may have heard about Badger Books, they're electronic poll books. Instead of the paper poll books, there's three reasons why poll books are important during this COVID situation. And one is we can't, right now, our poll workers have to sit right next to each other in order to hear the elector say their name and address and then they have to turn their book around, or they have to sign on the book, so that paper can never be sterilized. Just used over and over for all the residents. And then finally, our poll books are a bottleneck in our polling places. So what this will do is get people in and out much faster. Both Lisa and I have experience with poll books, Badger Books. I did 6 or 7 elections using them, and Lisa has done an election as well. We got approval from the state to get them. They were saying that no one could get them if you weren't already using them, but because the two of us know how to use them, and we've been using them for a while, that they gave us the okay to do it. And so we did get the approval to use this on both our We Cares and our We Cares grant, which is the $8,000 they gave us to spend for election purposes, and then Rouse Recovery would pick up the rest of the costs. So the total amount is $23,861. This will pay for the 12 Badger books for each of our, be spread amongst each of our 3 polling places, and the equipment to allow for social spaces.
And how long are these books?
4 to 5 years.
Coming.
4 to 5 years.
Why do we have to replace it?
Only if the hardware becomes outdated. That's the only reason they would need to be replaced. They will continually update the software.
I was surprised when you said that. I would think that unless it's outdated to the point where you can't get the next Windows version on it, Microsoft wouldn't use it anymore.
Are these tablets or computers or whatever?
They're actually a screen on a stand, and then it has a little printer to it. And so they're touchscreen machines, but it also comes with a keyboard and both wireless. So each person can be, as far away from each other. You don't have to have two full, right now we have to have two full books. With badge books, you only need one, and only one person sitting there. You don't need another person sitting there. That's where the spacing comes in. We could do we could check in a person in less than a minute and have them sign the screen. It was that fast. And we could do a registration in half the time. That would take us to do registration very well.
You might have to screen some with each person.
Probably not each person. We have some people that will take one of those rubber, not a rubber finger, but
A stylus?
Like they use stylus, but they use a plastic glove that you would use at like medical glove, and it works for that as well. So we had people use that on their finger while they were signing, and we had other people using it.
At the August election, I had residents that used Q-tips.
Can you supply those, don't you?
Q-tips. I don't want to supply stylus, otherwise we're going to have a cost of replacing stylus.
No. No, but Q-tips you can buy at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Is
It is
there
a
a,
great opportunity to get in with somebody else's money.
is there a backup in case these books crash?
Yes.
We have to do a paperback.
Becky, how you feeling?
I guess I don't. So the people still come up and give their name and address.
Mhm.
And the poll worker looks it up, right? And then the person can sign, I mean, it's so that they can sign it.
Yep. It just turns
Oh,
around.
you flip it and you turn it and they can sign it, okay. Are you sure our people are gonna be able to handle this?
Actually, at the April election, I had a lot of my coworkers leave, and I trained the new bunch on the spot. It's that easy of a piece of equipment. I had my first time I brought these, I had some people that were getting close to the late 70s, and they were very nervous. And they said, I don't think I'm going to do paper books anymore because my eyes are getting bad. And as soon as we got the badge books, they said, oh, this is so much better. I can definitely say it. So it's very user friendly.
So you still have two people taking the name?
Only one. The state only requires, when you're using badge books, only one.
We have less.
Then why do we have, well,
Yes.
why do we have 12 books?
4 for each polling place.
Do they use them for, they use them for registration?
Registration and absentee processing. So all the work we normally do the weekend before can just be done on election day.
And it eliminates a lot of human error.
So one thing really nice about them is many times you have a coworker that can't remember, when driver's license could be expired, or what the next step is, or what they're supposed to be looking for, what they're supposed to be saying. This screen actually tells them exactly what to say, what they're looking for, what their expiration date. It gives you all of the cues on the screen.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure of $23,861 for 12 Badger books and equipment to allow for social spacing and reduce the time voters stand in line at the polling place.
Is there a second? Second by Linda. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4.
You must think I sit in my office and just spend money all day. Yeah. Probably do that. I ask for money. So, because we'll have gotten all of.
We're starting budgeting tonight.
I know.
You might not want to say that.
But you'll see, I don't.
Item E, request for acceptance of the grant awarded by CTCL to cover COVID-19 election expenses.
So I found out about this grant that nonprofit organization put together for elections during the COVID situation. And put in that, and they granted us a $5,000 grant, so I'm asking for your acceptance of the $5,000 used for administration of safe and secure elections.
Also, finished of 5, in addition of administration of.
Of a safe and secure election.
Okay.
So we did put up the badge, we did put up the boxes already. They're back over on fire stations, but now we're getting paid for it. We did buy the bells, but now we're getting paid for it. We had a lot of the things that we were purchasing to use for the CARES Act is now going to be just this one thing in the CARES Act and the CARES Act.
Okay, any other questions?
I have a motion. We accept the grant awarded by CTCL to cover COVID-19 election expenses.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded by Becky, motion made by Linda. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 5 is approval of bills in the amount of $504,521.22. Top 5 payments being Payne and Dolan for $250,569.14 for the resurfacing program. Brenner Asphalt for $76,360 for crack filling contract. Kunkel Engineering for $43,932.75 with a reimbursable of $13,026. One Click Computers for $21,240.51 for equipment paid by the grants. And Rebecca Associates for $18,670.50 with reimbursable being $6,499.50. Anyone have any questions or comments on the bills? Is there a motion on the bills?
Make a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $504,521.
Mark moving to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Becky. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item G is the monthly report of ACH and auto pays for August 2020. We have that in the packet. Any questions or comments on that? Is there a motion to place on file?
Motion to place on file.
Mark Boonen. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Linda Beal. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item 11 is the board, committees, and commission appointments and elections. Discussion possible action on the following appointments. Appointments of the Village Growth Area and Grant Committee. So, I did have names to bring forward with you tonight, but being the group, EJ Properties, several of the people have filed for the referendum, I would withhold those names until after we know if the referendum passed or not. I did state at the meeting that if the referendum did take place and passes, that the grant would not happen. I'm reiterating, and obviously I'm one vote, but I'm assuming the board would be in favor of that. It's going to cost us, it's not going to cost us a lot more money to do this.
So they have filed for
Yes.
referendum?
On Friday.
How many people were there?
We counted, I think there were 62 signatures.
Out of 63 properties.
But they could be that husband and wife. Too.
Yeah. Right. So how does that work then with being it has to do with this grant committee? You need to know when we would bring this back. As far as the referendum goes, what would the timing be on that so we would know when we would possibly bring this grant back if it were to fail?
So if we have not used it yet, Lisa has not gone through and used the signatures to see if they are really the proper owners and it's done properly. She hasn't certified that. Once that's certified, then we're going to check to see if there's any possible way we can get it on the
February.
February election. Otherwise, we will, because we have to give so many days notice. We were gonna do an election for these property owners, just a paper ballot, not gonna set machines, we're not gonna have somebody program. It's only a yes or no question. We talked about that. Do you have any more details?
No, we would just need one polling location. The only people that would participate in the election would be people from those properties that would be affected in the VGA. And like Kathy said, we won't need the machines to be programmed. We would only need 3 poll workers. It would,
So it's a referendum for those 63 women.
correct. Property owners, yep.
Are they all in one ward or? Oh,
It would only be, it would only be one reporting unit anyways.
Right, but I meant, would they think they have to go to their voting?
No, we would send them notification of the election and say, everyone will vote at town hall on this day. You have 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. to come and cast your ballot.
Okay,
This would, we gotta make sure we keep a little tight on the discussion.
Yep.
As far as date, timing, so to say, because it's not really part of the,
Right.
don't have.
yeah, date and timing is a big thing for this part of the discussion in relation to when we would know when to bring back the grant committee if possible. So I mean, my intention would be if, I have one vote here, but would be that if this passes, that the grant. This is gonna negatively affect some other aspects of this. It's gonna cost a tremendous amount more money. Right? So I have no recommendations at this time. Item 12 is adjournment.
Make a motion.
Is there a second? Second by Becky, no discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Your votes at 6, yes, 8:07. 8:07.
Hang on.
I just think we should